Welcome everybody. You ready for a shocker? You ready for a shocker? Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. You ready for it? Brace yourselves. Here it comes. I'm just gonna let you soak it in for a minute. Go ahead. I know you've never seen this in your entire following of this channel. You've never seen this. So it's okay. I know you're sitting back, maybe rubbing your eyes, fingers interlaced behind your head, lean back in the seat going, what? Oh my goodness. I know it's a lot. Okay, I'm gonna explain this to you real quick. Oh yeah. About a month ago, I was like, man, I just my long hair, I've always liked it, loved it, trucking, playing in the band, all that. About a month ago, I was like, I'm just not super in love with it, at the moment. And so you change it up a little, try a little different style it different, wear it different. It's like, nah, I'm still not digging it. So I like to wait a month. When you have those kind of major change urges, just wait. So I gave it a month, and I just felt the same way. So it was like, you know what? It's time. It's time. That's literally the only reason that I cut it is because I wanted to. No coercion, no suggestion, no nothing. I did it because I wanted to. Have I had any inklings about shaving my beard? None. Zero. No nothing. No stirrings. But from here on out, this is the style. All right, let's go. So I'm home just for a day here off the road, and I'm looking for, I need a pin, not too big a one, that should be about right. Old Rooster gave me a call and asked if I could do him a little favor real quick. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna go out, got the Kubota warming up. Spring is here. I mean, it's been officially spring for a long time, but what is officially spring and what is actually spring, those can be two very different things in Montana. Man, springtime, a lot of stuff needs done. A little spring cleaning in the tractor, a little spring cleaning in the fields. Old man Rooster's been out doing some harrowing. Whoops, shut that parking brake off. That chain hasn't had to pull out any stuck semis in a little while. As you may remember, the ranch is a dry land operation, meaning we don't have like super reliable irrigation, and we're working on that. Remember, we bought that irrigation pump. We bought a couple of wheel lines. We got some things in motion. That's part of our spring plans, is to get those wheel lines assembled, get that pump set up. But something that's already going on right now is that with spring runoff, the creek is really flowing, and that creek runs down and out through our place. We can divert that into a ditch and get some of that water out and try to flood. Even though, look, the grass isn't even green yet, but we found over the years being here that early in the spring, as soon as the ground is thawed out, which it has, even though the grass isn't green, you can get water out and it'll soak in and put some good deep, subsurface moisture down in there. There's some birds out birding. There's some trucks out hanging. But before we can get that water out the ditch, it needs to be cleaned. We don't ditch this ditch every year. It's just every few years it needs to be drug with the ditcher. Oh, there it is. It's up here. So Rooster asked if I had time, I could grab that ditcher and go running through the ditch and clear it out so he can get some irrigation water cruising. And that's what we're gonna do. Oh man, cab overs. Oh. Now I'm not really sure how this thing got turned sideways. We don't even push snow or do anything up here. I don't know. Could a snowdrift somehow have moved this thing around? I don't know. We haven't used that snowblower in years, and we haven't used this in a couple of years. And they are at odds with each other. So We'll see if we can get this hooked up by ourselves here. All right, I got the hydraulics hooked up here. I'm gonna see if I can. Oop, wrong way. See if we can get some weight off of it. Then I can maybe by hand. Oh yeah. Got a hydraulic leak, looks like. Okay, I think we got enough. Well, all that struggling, and my pin is too big. Look at that old beauty. Look at that old beauty. Found a smaller one, a little homemade one. We're just gonna swap it. So when Rooster comes to grab his little scraper, he'll be all set. I got her. Got her. Got some problems though. This weld is broken, so this little hose tower is about to collapse. And I got such a big hole in this old hose that it won't stay up at all. And speaking of not staying up, it's got a flat tire. I was talking to Heavy D last night and he was telling me how we're due for another adventure. And look, here it comes. Nah. Well, we've resorted to scavenging. Scavenging. Don't want to scavenge off the hay rake or the stacker. However, this old girl, it's an old land plane that we used to use. I bought it for $1,000. One of my first little personal purchases for the ranch. And it didn't last but a few years. It's wore out. But anyway, I'm gonna take this hose and use it. Scavenge attempt number 2. Oh, we're gonna have to bring it off of that because she's spinning. Yeah, I tell you what. Oh, there we go. This is the old ditcher. This ditcher came with the place. 100% homemade. It is not a good ditcher. The reason why, the back end of it cannot raise up high. It's kind of like a little belly scraper thing. It's not good. The ditch ends up being way too wide. Anyway, whoever made it back in the day, like, good on you. Like, it's homemade. It's way more than I could ever scheme up, dream up. You know, they made it adjustable here where you could adjust the wheels in and out, but and a crank here to adjust the back end height somewhat. We're a ways out of town, and this is a 20-minute project once it's put together. And the time you go into town and get a $100 hose made for a one-time little project, it's like, you know what? Let's make use of some of the stuff that we have around here. So if you've ever wondered why old timers kept so much stuff, it's for things like this. Got to spend an hour and a half going to town. Got to get a $100 hose. When all the while, we very likely have a usable hose right here. So let's point back in the old days. You break something, weld it up, fix it. Yep. Why? Nowadays, you just go down to Tractor Supply and get you a whole new hydraulic ram. But I think we need to get back to trying to make stuff last longer. Rebuild it, weld it up, fix it up, and run it. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, that's the one. Look there. Little side note. New hydraulic hoses typically weather check and start cracking within 2 years, which is really sad. Old hydraulic hoses, well, check it out. This thing's been sitting out in the blazing sun for, like I said, 10 years. And look at this, sure there's a few little nicks and dings. Another case in point, I'll shut the lights off, let's go try this out. Another case in point is that the hay stacker that we have, that we grab our gatherer, that we gather our round bales with, bought that out of Canada. It's a Canadian company. And almost every single hose on it is shot. I'm gonna have to replace them all this summer. It's just leaking too much. 6 years old? 6 years? 5 years we've had that? And they're gone. They're like gone. So Rooster, I was just telling these yahoos out in YouTube land that we're kind of doing a poll. This hose looks really good despite being who knows how old on that old ditcher. Think it's gonna hold or nay?
It could be 50 years old.
Could be. I have no idea. It came with the place. All right, here she goes. Up. Oh, pop down. Hang on. Good as gold. Look at that thing. Sweet. Yep. Meyer Ditcher, Fairfield, Montana. All right, let's go. Let's go. So Meyer Ditcher, fun little side story old Rooster was reminding me about. Back when he was in junior high, so this would have been in the late 60s. Yeah, roughly the late 60s. This company, Meyer Ditcher, back home where we grew up in Fairfield, they were cranking out these ditches. They had a little assembly line in there. I mean, they built them for years, doing these ditches. And the other big thing that they were doing was square bale sweeps, they call them. And they've kind of reemerged with the resurgence of hobby farms, so to speak. A lot of people are putting up little small square bales now and kind of need or want square bale sweeps again. Yeah, it's a way by which you gather your square bales and then you have to stack them by hand. But they were these sweeps that would go on the front of a front end loader, and you'd set them down on the ground, and you would go, and they would basically, it was like these metal fingers that would just slide under the bales, and they'd slide into the sweep. You could grab about 8 to 12 at a time, depending on the model that you used, and then you'd take them over to the stack or to the hay wagon or whatever, and you dump them. One last funny little story about that. Sold a load of square bales one time out of the field. This is when I was about 22 years old, 23. And me and little brother Weston, we hand loaded an entire semi-load of square bales, a 48-foot flatbed, all by hand. I went around with the sweep, picked up the bales, took them over and dumped them to him. He'd stack them. He's gonna say, I'm the one that loaded them by hand. Anyway, we'd get a bunch on the trailer and then we'd stack them and then sweep a bunch more up, dump them on the trailer and then stack them. But I'm proud to say that I am someone who has loaded a semi-load of square bales by hand. Debatable in Weston's eyes, but I'm gonna take it. Here we are. We made it out. Tires held up. Look at that, even matches the old orange and black. I just stepped in a big old cow turd. Nice. That's what I get for not watching where I'm going. So the creek comes all the way from the ranch. If you've followed along for a long time, you remember some of this, but the creek runs down, right? Comes here. This has been here for ages, this little reservoir. The creek used to run down here like this. You can see the little winds around the tree and all that over there. Well, it was dammed up back. This would have been probably clear back in like the 50s. Dammed up, and it diverts it around, and then it just goes around here like that and goes back down around into the creek, right? So if you're not irrigating, you just let it go around the bypass down in the creek. However, we're going to start irrigating, so we will open up here, let it run out in the field for a time and run through the field. Once it runs across the field out there, it actually goes back into the creek, clear down where that fence post is there in the middle of the screen, and goes back in the creek down that way. So it all works out. It's kind of, diversion is really neat. It's really neat, especially something like this that was built back in the day. So we're gonna get on top of this ditch here. It's steep. It doesn't actually need to be ditched until you get down around to that corner. This is really steep through here. The water doesn't have any issues running fast. Runs really rapidly, and when it turns the corner to head south, that's where it flattens out, and we need to clean it. Get our front wheel assist turned on so we can walk down in here. Nice and easy. There we go. See how deep and steep the ditch is underneath there? It's kind of cut out like that because it runs really rapidly through there. All right, we're getting going. This is tough. This is not going very well, to be honest. The ditch is almost non-existent. It's so grown in, which is why we're doing this, of course. And it's just gonna take some time dragging back and forth here, but it's just not grabbing down in there like I would like. Which means that, remember I was talking about the attack angle? See how this one's more like this? That other one was real flat. I need a steeper attack yet. I need the nose of that ditcher to be really digging in there. I don't need this to be digging into anything because it's a very shallow ditch, but we need to let that nose down, which, hopefully we can get this to turn. That's my bad. I should have thought to free that thing up before I came out. Need a big old pipe wrench on this thing and a cheater bar. I can kick it and get it to barely budge. So, you see it's been bent a little bit. There. Anyway, we're gonna drag her 2 or 3 times here and see what she looks like, I guess. See how it's just not biting in down there in the bottom? We'll get to some spots where it'll grab, but a lot of this just needs to be steeper. We'll try this. It's not a super long ditch. If it don't work, we'll call Rooster and have him bring out a big pipe wrench and a cheater bar. There's quite a bit of hay and grass and stuff that's blown in from the winter into the bottom, and I'm hoping this first pass maybe will scrape that out and then allow the nose of that ditcher to bite in. The bottom of this ditch is kind of slick. Oh yeah, it's working now. We got that bottom cleared out. This is kind of the initial pass now. This is what it normally would be like the first pass, but getting that bottom cleared out for that water to run. Yes, sir. Did you hear that? Oh, I love everything that's old. We need to keep all this old stuff going. That was the old top link of the hitch there. Look at that. Man, we were doing some good work too. Darn it. We're doing some good work. Just gonna cut this water loose, man. All I need to get up to there. Remember the chain? Remember the chain? I was like, hopefully I don't have to drag any more trucks out of the dirt. Chain. I got the chain on. We're gonna use the chain to finish this job and turn the water loose without going in. So I'm chained around here to the drawbar. It's not ideal, but I'm hoping it'll be enough just to get one more drag. She's holding up by the skin of our teeth. Keep your fingers crossed. We can do a little welding later on, but I'd sure like to get this wrapped up. Okay, we got it done. Oh, it is time to turn the water loose, caboose. Let's see if I'm man enough to pull this thing out of there. There we go. Whew. Check that out. Nature combined with ingenuity. We'll go shut that one. Just like so. Not entirely. You can never shut it off totally. There's always still a little flow, if you can see there. There you go. So that'll still feed the creek a little bit. You guys growing up, this is all we did all summer long, non-stop, all day, every day. Flood irrigation. Over there where I grew up, the water all came down out of the mountains and was the lifeblood of the community. Couldn't farm without it. See how steep and deep it runs here? Just cruising. super fast. Got some debris piling up there. It's getting close. This would be our first set, we would call it. You can see the little cutout right here. So we'd set a dam right here, boom, which is why there's a big old rock here. Get that and use that when you set a dam. Helps weight it down, but she's coming fast. That takes care of that, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the sounds and the sights of that water running out to rejuvenate and waterize and bring some hope and potential to that field for the spring. It was really satisfying. I love that. I love it. But you might still be in a little bit of shock about my hair. Hopefully you're getting over that. And we'll see you guys next time.